021. As a news hound, I couldn't help but notice how women's health issues have been in the news, and I had the kind of day where I wound up not getting in trouble. So here goes. I believe that life begins before conception, and that anytime anything that's conceived is destroyed, you're killing a soul that is alive in a person. In no way do I think it's murder at all, until that fetus is a viable person, including all forms of medical assistance. All forms. However, for any reason that a woman wants to no longer carry a pregnancy to term, as long as that fetus is entirely dependent on her, I believe it's entirely her call, between her and the universe and anyone willing to perform the procedure, and them and her and the universe. There are many, 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 many situations in a free and compassionate society where people have no choice but to die. They find themselves in situations where there's nothing that anyone can say except for they put themselves in a situation where they were no longer in control over whether they lived or died. Whether it's their occupation, their choice of neighborhood, the nature of their boss in their occupation. All these factors can lead to their death, and it's not murder. And sometimes it seems like it's a shame, and sometimes it's... I believe the universe is vast enough to understand this, and certainly the idea that anyone is being cheated out of their existence because they die is repugnant to the teachings of the Old and New Testament, and almost every culture that's mildly successful is that life goes on after death and before death. So that's the position of 021 at the moment. I talked to the staff that until the fetus is viable, it's up to the woman and anyone who helps her. After that fetus is viable, that's a legal person, and then it's a crime if everything isn't done to make sure that that fetus is sustained and kept alive. If the fetus can make it outside the womb, everything has to be done, and I mean everything possible. There's no exact comparison, and I haven't thought it through, but there are some comparisons. Some people, I believe, have some kind of say about when they're conceived. I don't know exactly what it is. I think it's in the hands of the heavens. However, just as the Bible in the Old Testament says that up until the day their parents die, I don't believe this should be held true anymore, but there's a biblical, you can find just about anything in the Bible. one of my misquotes that I made up is, "Thy breasts are like two withered olive trees," borrowing from, misappropriating from both Song of Solomon and the portion of the gospel that refers to the withering of the olive tree. Anyway, there's an Old Testament admonition that parents had the power of life and death over their children for as long as the parents lived. Well, once upon a time, maybe, but not now. So that's the position of O21. And if somebody had followed me around with a webcam today, I hope everybody involved would get a chance to explain what didn't happen.